Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to the long, dark Wintermute. So, I did a little preparations. We're still overweight. It's kind of to be expected when we're holding an 11-pound item. So as soon as we drop that, we're going to be pretty close to our normal weight range. I just realized I have an extra pair of socks here, which we're totally going to wear. Alright. So, and as we eat through this food, it'll get better. But we're close enough that we could escape a wolf, or we could run, if we needed to. And I'm fairly okay with where we're at right now, so we're gonna go. So, as a little recap, I feel like that's probably a good idea. We'll pull up our map really quick. I hear wolf pain sounds again. Anyway, we're about here. And we're going to the picnic area where, if I'm not mistaken, we were last time. So we'll start making our way over there. And I'm going to get this gun ready because I keep not having it ready and it keeps not helping me. We've got plenty of food, so I'm not going to bother with the deer either. Although I think we might still be a little smelly. I don't know if it tells me right off. Because I do have wolf meat on me. It's cooked. Or was it deer? No, it's wolf meat, I think. But I still do have it on me, so I'm probably going to smell a little. And we've got plenty of flares too, so I don't mind shooting another one at a wolf if I catch it fast enough. We might be okay. I might have also killed the wolves that were out here, so that's another thing. The wolf that was attacking me before may be dead. I do see a wolf up here though, so try to avoid that. I think we also do want to collect sticks too. I don't think I have any firewood. Which of course, like usual, is going to add to my weight and it's just going to be a bigger problem again. Although I don't think I went this way before. Forgot to make the coffee I said I was going to make. That's what it was. Okay. That goes off somewhere, but that's not the direction I want to go. Yeah, I forgot I was going to make the coffee, so one, I would stay warm, and also I would keep from getting fatigued too quickly. Both of which are things that are important to stave off whenever you're traveling somewhere new or unexpected. We could still do it. We could do it up at that cabin, wherever that thing is. But I don't know if it's... Well, it's probably worth it, because I am starting to get cold. You know what? We are going to do it. I think there's a wood stove in the cabin. We're going to start a fire there and make, let's say, 2 things of coffee. One for now and one for later. 70% chance. You'll see it says a 0% chance for the magnifying glass because we're not outdoors, so we can't actually use it at all. It's a pretty situational item, but I still do feel like having the magnifying glass is kind of a nice last resort kind of thing, I guess. But you also, unless you're using them for lighting a lot, which I would shy away from using single matches as a light source. You don't really run out of matches in this game, at least I haven't. It is, of course, one of those items that I guess you would want to be somewhat careful about since it is a non-natural resource, but I've never really had a situation where I've ever run out of matches. You know, that's never been the thing that's killed me. With the exception of never getting matches in the first place, I could see that killing you. But I've never had a situation where I've run out of, where I've had matches and then I ran out. You know? It just never happened. Alright, that should help a good bit. So, in practice, I don't know if the magnifying glass ever gets important enough to actually use, unless you're playing maybe on, like, Interloper, and the hardest difficulty, I should add. And instead of getting a bunch of matches, you get very few, and you get a magnifying glass, and that might be more useful. Alright, so this rock right here is where we're going to be climbing down, to my understanding. Deploy mountaineering rope.
I have a bad feeling I'm never going to see this place again.
Is that your, we're going to episode 2? I think it is. Let's go. Oh, okay, I see. They changed that. It didn't matter before if you were encumbered. You could still go down the rope. That is a different thing, which makes sense if you think about it. Still is slightly annoying. That means I'm going to have to drop some stuff. If I want to go right now. We could drop all our sticks. I get this close. If we were able to eat one of these meats, that would be enough. What's not important? Pretty much everything here is important. Could probably drop those. It's like I'm getting to the point where I'm dropping small, almost unimportant things. But we are pretty close now. We're going to drop the magnifying glass. I don't think it's going to get used enough to be worth it. Still got to drop something else. Can of dog food would do it. What's her food level at? Maybe I could eat a can of dog food. I mean, obviously not the whole thing, but enough of it to make me feel like I didn't entirely waste it. Although, actually, it's going to save some, isn't it? But that puts us under our limit. Let's go. We good? It's enough. I'm liking... Oh, whoa. Dang it, minor bruising. / passing out. I kind of figured something was going to happen. Something story related.
I guess that rope was older than it looked.
Yeah. That was your... You can't go back thing. Minor bruising gone. Oh, I really do like how the sky looks. Except I can see a seam in it right now that I just said that, but... You know, in the skybox. But the sky does look very pretty. Kind of like a painting, really. Alright. Back out in the dangerous outdoors. So, Perseverance Mills. I've had a feeling we're going down that way. Perseverance Mills is where we're going. Which I think is another new thing. I don't remember that off the top of my head. Climbing area. I'm wondering if they're going to put a bear into the story mode. I mean, like if they have, is what I mean. They introduced these game modes. They're like challenges. I forget if they called them challenges or something different. It was a nice bridge between Sandbox and the as of yet not released, or as of then not released story mode. Single player mode, I should say. No, not single player. Campaign, whatever you want to call it. Where you were still in Sandbox, but you had an objective. Your objective wasn't just survive. They gave you some other kind of objective. And they had 2 objectives related to bears, which I never played because I'm terrified of them. And in this game, bears are manageable. They generally don't attack unprovoked, usually. Unless you put yourself into a bad situation, I guess is the best way to put it. But they made the bear in that game mode, like, actually aggressive. Like, it hunted you. I never played it because I was terrified of just the thought of that is terrifying to me. So I'm kind of nervous that they're going to do something like that and I'm going to have to play it. I see mushroom. But yeah, they first released one game mode where, if I remember right, you basically had to get from a starting point to an ending point. That's how a lot of these, a lot of the challenge modes went. And along the way, the bear was chasing you pretty unrelentingly. I think it was like, you couldn't stop for too long, otherwise the bear would get you. It was something like that. They had some other interesting game modes, too. They had this thing called, this isn't a game mode, I just thought about it. There's this thing called Cabin Fever. And I know that they balanced it since it first got released. Because it was really annoying where if you stayed inside too long, you had to stay outside for a certain period of time, which sucked because if you were injured, you couldn't stay inside to sleep. Though I think they rebalanced it somewhat and they made it less problematic. But once again, it's been a while, so I don't really know. Okay, I think we're supposed to go in that cave. In fact, actually, it's looking a lot like we're supposed to, because there's things in there. There's a floating, burnt-out fire. I was going to go around, but let's just take a quick peek and see if maybe it's a quick thing we look at, or if it's deeper than this. Floating campfire. Rocks. There's another bedroll. I could tear that apart for a lot of cloth, but I think I'm okay. My bedroll's in pretty top shape. Ah, lots of coal. Heavy, yes. Well, it's only half a pound, actually. It's not that bad.
I'm gonna have to leave something behind.
No, 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 no. We are not stopping for anything. What are we at? 75? Ah. That's a nothing. Okay. So this coffee is going to be cold, but we're going to drink it just to keep our fatigue away. Having fatigue, like, creep up and start to become a problem when you're trying to finish up a trek is really, really problematic. Because your carrying capacity goes down, which in turn starts to make you slower over time, which makes it take even longer to get to where you're trying to get to assumedly sleep. It's like it's a snowball effect, really, of terribleness. Okay, that's a rope to get up. And I'm thinking that's where we're going. There's a climbing area after all. But yeah, you really want to avoid that if you can. It's bad news. And so, when they introduced like the tea and the coffee mechanics, and that they'd have side benefits with them along with giving you small amounts of calories, those things were super cool. I like the tea a lot, but the coffee, I think the coffee probably, we too encumbered again. They really get you on that, don't they? Alright. Can we eat anything? It's all this coal. Can we eat a wolf bit? Not much. It's all this coal. And of course some other random things I picked up, but mostly the coal, I think. Do I still have that open thing of food? Not that I can actually eat it right now. I don't know. We could drop a small amount of water, can't we? What did I just drop? We could drop a small amount of water. We're so close. Can I drink that? We're so close. I don't know. Drop one. Oh, we're like 0.02 within range. Excellent. This is mechanic. I don't know if we're going to end up using it much, but when you're climbing up really tall ropes, if there's ledges nearby, you can dismount onto them and regain some of your stamina meter, because I think if you run out of stamina, you fall. Which, of course, can either kill or severely hurt you depending on the height, I think. We can take this rope. Is that a good idea? Probably not, because it's heavy. We're going to leave this rope here. But you can take it with you if like, you know, there's another thing I wanted to go down. I could deploy it somewhere else. There's another rope. I see. Tell me, if this tree hadn't fallen down, how are people expected to get to Perseverance Mills? Alright, you're supposed to take the roadway that's currently blocked. That makes sense. You can see our fatigue's starting to go down a bit. If I didn't have that coffee, I'm pretty sure we'd be at about half fatigue and we'd start to slowly lose carrying capacity before long, so... It was good I made those two. I might end up making the third one if we're still going for a while. Although, I also hope it doesn't get too dark soon, because that would be unfortunate. Ooh. It's very colorful over here. Is this a story thing? Because this looks a little too colorful, actually. Maybe not, but it does look very colorful here. Very purpley. Northern Lights, some would say. Northern Lights color scheme. That's what got us in this mess. They made it before where even when you were over encumbered, you could still, like when it first got released, I should say, you could still climb the rope up and down, which I always thought was funny whenever you were almost double over encumbered when you're sitting at like 110 pounds of your 60 normal weight. You could still climb the rope and do it in a, relatively normal fashion. I don't think they penalized you for it. So, I guess it makes sense that if you're carrying an awful lot of extra weight, you probably can't climb with that awful lot of extra weight.
I might have to drop some gear.
You're fine. I had you pick up fluff. Okay, just saved. Something about to happen? It actually won't let me go that way. So I guess we're going in the cave.
That plane's taken me a lot of places.
What?
Sorry to leave you here, old girl. But right now, I gotta find Astrid.
Okay. Oh, we just went right in the cave. These caves make me nervous. Okay. So, we're doing alright so far. I don't have the required materials to make that... to make like a legit torch, but... I did forget, we do have our lantern here. And if you give me just a second, I'm sorry, I do have a phone call I need to take real quick. Okay, back again. Sorry about that. So, anyway, like I was saying, we could go the torch route or we could do the lantern route. And I think we have some extra lantern fuel. Yeah, not a whole lot, but enough that I don't think it would be super detrimental to use a bit in here. It will light up the place very well, much better than a torch will anyway. Oh, look at that shadow under it. That's really cool, actually. I like that they bothered to do that. Put the shadow of the lantern under it. Plus, the best part about the lantern is if it gets brighter like this, I can turn it off. Although that is terrifying, so we're going to leave it on. Okay, we can make a torch now. These caves in this game are actually pretty frightening to me. You know, it's just the idea that, like, the pitch black is, hiding anything. And in reality, it's probably a wolf or a bear, which is probably equally as terrifying. But, it's scary. And I'm really glad they added these caves. They're actually pretty decent shelters, too. I think you can light fires in them. Like, you can set up a campfire, so that's nice. You're usually pretty warm in them. You can throw down a bedroll, so... compared to the outside, they're decent shelters. Better than the ones that you can't travel in, like the ones that don't have a transition point into a cave. Because those ones barely protect from the weather. Sorry, I'm just a little bit curious. That almost seemed like it'd be a place where you would hide something, but that's one thing this game doesn't always seem to do. They don't, like, they kind of put little bits of things in little places, but they never put anything real major, like squirreled behind a little rock, like right here or anything. No wolves so far. We're doing great. They don't normally put wolves in these caves, but, you know, it seems like something that they might do in story mode. Alright. Oh, excuse me? When did that happen? Shoot the bear! Do it! It was just like coming out of a cave to bear. Was that the first chapter? The first episode? I think that was. That was a very stark transition. I was kind of hoping to see us maybe, like, coming out of a cave and then we saw that happening. It was just like, bear, attack man. Hey, look, there we are. Pick up gun. Shoot the bear. Bang. Well, anyway. That is the first chapter. I actually thought it was going to go for a little bit longer, like we were going to have a bit more today. First episode, sorry. So I was planning on doing a bit of a longer one, but if that is the end of episode 1, maybe we can stop there. I don't know. I think it's pretty great so far. It's definitely kind of a first, I don't know if I want to say first project, but it's definitely a indie kind of project in that sense. Like there's not a massive amount of depth in the story that we've seen thus far, but it's like just enough to keep it interesting without necessarily being too heavy-handed, I feel. But then again, you could summarize it as we basically did Fetch Quest for a few hours. So, I guess it's up to your interpretation. I kind of liked it, but that's because I was sucked into the sandbox story as it was. And I just wanted just a little bit of story to kind of drive forward, give you some kind of objective. And this first episode did just that. It was mostly sandbox with just a little bit of story to drive forward an objective. So, that was kind of fun. And does it dump me back here? Okay. So, we could assumedly resume. Alright, well, I guess that's a good enough spot to stop. We'll stop there. Nothing particularly exciting in the cave, it looks like. But that's alright. Oh yeah, I like that if you don't move your mouse, it defaults to the old loading screen. Which looks pretty cool, by the way. Anyway, that's going to be it for today, I think. But hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Next time we'll come back and start episode 2, where, assumedly, we are getting into Perseverance Mills. So, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.